forever, together forever, together forever, together forever. Yes, we are making a video together. I got a slime yesterday at the Dollar Tree store. Here it is. I don't know if this shows. I don't know if it shows, but I made a mistake. I put the slime in with one of the other putties and they don't seem to mix. Matter of fact is the slime is now interfering with this other one and it looks like a blue heart. It has the shape of a heart. This is a symbol for the world. Let me see if I can turn this around, then I can see what I'm show what I'm. There it is. It looks like scrambled egg. Scrambled egg heart. It is an alien egg. That's what it is. With alien egg yolk. I love it. It's cool. It's absolutely wonderful. Whoa, I absolutely love it. Just to make this video. This is good. Yes. Oh, nice. But what happened is the slime, the green slime is now becoming it's not coherent anymore. So if I take this out, it seems like it's not coherent anymore. Maybe this is starting to dissolve now. Maybe it does. But I'm not sure if they are chemically compatible. So it seems like they are not made out of the same material. And they're kind of phobic. They're kind of centrist in a way. I am centrist, says the blue heart. I am blue heart centrist. And this says I am green centrist. And we don't mix. And each one of us says we are the center of the universe. And we do not mix, no matter how much you try to mix us. We don't mix. Yes. I totally love it. See, that's what the problem is with slime. Slime is too liquid. I prefer the putty. But it's kind of fun too, just for today, to play around with this a little bit. It's kind of fun. I'm going to leave it in this cup so that it can evaporate a little bit, and then let's see what happens, what comes out of it. Maybe some real interesting artwork comes out of it. Maybe it will dissolve. With the acrylic paint, for example, when I have an acrylic paint that where the water had evaporated, if I hadn't used that one in a long time, and I open it up and it is completely hardened, and if I put water in it, it is phobic to it, so the water stays on the surface, it doesn't permeate into it. But if I let it sit long enough with the water, it will very slowly pick up the chemicals again and mix with the water, and then it will become paint material again. So, but it takes very long, and it when I finally mix it together, it has clumps in it, so that's not the ideal solution. But this is fun. It's fun. Nice. Yeah, I see the blue is liquefying a little bit, so if I wait long enough, maybe they do mix, and then I have a decent putty again that I can put into that container. Maybe it does dissolve. is cool. Oh, nice. I want to make a movie, but I'm still thinking how I'm going to create that movie. I have a philosophical message. It's going to be a philosophical movie. But I don't know. I want to make this message understood. Like I try every day to make that message understood to the wider public, particularly people who have never ever been dealing with philosophy and ethics. So they got their morals from religion. So how do I bring across the universal message of compassion and love? Love is compassion. True love is compassion. How do I bring this across? That's the question. That's a big question. So I want to make a movie, and I want to bring classical music to you. You know, I want to bring the enormous depths of Mozart to the public. How do I do this? You know, without making it sound cliche or without having it bypass as horror, Frankenstein music, whatever people will call it. Yeah. Therapist once I let her listen to my headphones of the Requiem a long time ago, and she said, "Oh, angels singing." So, you know, I'm not blaming her because obviously, you know, she didn't grow up with classical music. So to her, I remember Annalise's reaction to that. Annalise was like, Annalise and I, we really shared love for classical music, and for her, it was like wherever classical music was, that was home. You know, kind of like for Paul setting out his garden chairs in a different location, somewhere overlooking the ocean in a public park, and suddenly he says, "Now this makes all the difference in the world. Now that I took out my folding chair. I'm sitting here overlooking the ocean. Now I feel at home. You know, it feels like we live here. You know, it's our home." Like setting up camp or something. The moment you set up camp, then I think it probably feels like home almost. This is becoming very interesting now. Oh my gosh, this is cool. Oh my gosh. I love this. This was a good idea after all. This is good. They're mixing. They're very gradually mixing. First they thought they were phobic of each other. Now they're mixing. Mixed race. I like Van Jones. Would be nice to mix with Van Jones. Van Jones. I have a total crush on Van Jones. Internally and externally. He's really, really amazing, cool guy. He wants to make San Francisco better. And he cares. He also cares about the polar bears. He cares about all beings. And he's trying to bring this across to the public. It's not easy. Because the public, they're only interested in their own immediate needs. Whatever society likes, they're gonna think they like too. The public, because they don't question things. This is really neat. I love it. I'm in love. Papa dog, I'm in love. I'm in love with this thing here. This is a baby. This is a this is an extraterrestrial baby here. Okay, maybe tomorrow something will evolve out of this. It will grow into a big dinosaur. It'll be the dinosaur in the room that everyone has missed looking at. The dinosaur of compassion. See, we mix. We're all one big matrix of love. Everyone is equally precious. And then people in the chat room told me that I am not equally precious. They are, but I am not. This is such centrism and bullying and hate. No, we're all equally precious. Okay, it's true. You know, any color, any age. You know, I see age shaming a lot in chat rooms. You know, particularly when they're in a chat room where there's a lot of teenagers, then they shame people who are older than 30. Oh, this is awesome. It's becoming turquoise. This is gorgeous. I love it. I'm in love. Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so good. It's becoming like the color of my artwork, of the camera stand. I was watching a conversation, an interview with Slavoj Žižek, philosopher from Slovenia. And he is an amazing person, super intense. I like that. And 67 years old, my goodness. He looks much younger because he's very dynamic. He reminds me a lot of Wim Hof, the Iceman. They're very much alike. Same type of person. Very down to earth, very genuine, very loving, very compassionate. And even though I don't agree with him on everything, that's just because by default I don't agree with anybody on everything. And it's good, you know. If we agreed with someone 100%, then, I mean, first of all, that cannot happen ever because we're all very different. And we have different views on things and different perspectives and different needs, and everyone sees things from another angle and contributes something to the story. That's what makes it so precious. But I really agree with him on the Nietzschean slave morality, the abolition of the Nietzschean slave morality. So slave morality needs to be abolished. What does he mean by slave morality? Most people don't know what it means. So I will explain. It doesn't only pertain to certain ethnic groups or their stories of enslavement. It pertains to enslavement in general, you know, women enslavement, certain people in Third World War enslavement, Indian people enslavement, they enslave their own children. In Nigeria, they enslave their own children. In the Cocoa plantations. Most people don't even know this, you know. I got chocolate yesterday. I shouldn't even be admitting this, but I'm not gonna buy the chocolate that has palm oil in it anymore. I'm not gonna do it, even if it's a closeout sale. I'm not gonna do it anymore, because even though those were my favorites, you know, Rittersport and all the Belgian ones and Lind from Switzerland, they contain palm oil, you know. They kill orangutans, you know, in, this makes interesting sounds. They they hurt all the wild animals, including the orangutans, which are primates like humans, you know. They're like 4 different or 5 different real large primate monkeys. Okay, one of those is the human, and the orangutans, they're very much like people, very much. But that's not the only criterion why we should protect them. Of course, you know, they're sentient. Dogs are sentient like we are. So they're hurting all the animals in Indonesia, in Sumatra, and in all of these regions out there, the equatorial Asian regions, for because they're harvesting palm trees and getting palm. They're not even concerned about, you know, sustainable harvesting or anything. They just chop these trees down. No, that's the home of all of those animals, including the orangutans. So I don't buy chocolate anymore that has palm oil in it, and I highly recommend to other people not to do it either. So I bought a different chocolate yesterday that does not contain palm oil. It has the ingredients listed, much less ingredients, no toxic stuff in it. It's all natural. And the cocoa comes from West Africa, but they made sure that in that production, they made sure that there's no enslavement happening. Okay, so that these people are there voluntarily, that they are being paid fair wages, fair trade, you know, and slave free, you know, like no slavery involved. And most of those enterprises there, some of them owned by Western people, by entrepreneurs that think they can exploit the people there. Most of those, they use child labor, they enslave people, they have sweatshops there. It's absolutely horrific what's going on. Absolutely horrific what's going on. Not only there, but all the way around the globe, particularly in the equatorial regions. That's really the worst. But the most brutal place definitely is Nigeria, from the whole world. It's the truth. I'm not just saying this. It is the truth. It's a fact. We need to look at the facts. And it's very sad. It's just, like I said before, you know, not very many wild animals left. They're killing the species. They're making these African animal species become extinct. They kill everything in their range. It's horrific. In order to fix something, we have to look at the problems. You know. You can't ignore the problems just because, oh, this might sound politically incorrect. You know. That doesn't fix anything. And that's what I like about Slavoj Zizek. He he words himself more carefully than I do, you know, very cautious. But, you know, I'm deliberately direct with this because I want to call the kid by the name. I want people to start thinking. I want everyone to be participating in this discussion, not just intellectuals, not just those people who have read the great philosophers. I want everyone to be participating in this because this is our planet. This is our Earth. Yeah. Don't ruin it. Yeah. That is my message to the world. So I really like Slavoj Žižek talking against the slave morality. So what does Friedrich Nietzsche? He's the originator of this proposal to end slave morality. So what does Friedrich Nietzsche? He came up with that terminology. What does he mean by slave morality? He means any person who finds an identification in his own demise and victimhood. So that's slave morality, and anyone who thinks that someone who is in this self-pitying state and who is not trying at all to make things better should be put on a pedestal or something. So he's against that, putting people who are rallying together for the psychopath or for destructive people or for people who have nothing to offer, who don't try to put red carpet out for them, to cater to them and to serve them. Then we have more enslavement. Now we have an enslavement of the intellectuals making themselves enslaved, or a lot of religious people that are coming only from religion and indoctrination and ideology alone, from repetition. Just they hear something, they repeat it without even knowing what it is. So, but the intellectuals, they're supposed to understand a little bit more, but I notice they don't understand that much either. Every time I talk to them. And so this is really awesome. It's mixing completely now. I am very, very surprised. I'm very happy about this. Very happy about this. Yes. Yes, yes. Awesome. Oh, what a treat. This is an artist's treat, a dream. This is better than jewelry. This is alien DNA. This is love it. So slave morality is like holding the other cheek, Jesus was supposed to have said that. I don't believe it that he said that. I think that was later interpreted into something like this. Jesus wanted to empower people. It's the opposite, like Friedrich Nietzsche. He wanted to point things out. He wanted to educate people, empower them. He rescued a hooker, Mary Magdalene, and gave her foot massages because he saw that she has never received love. She couldn't even love herself. She couldn't even value her own body as the temple. So he said, "Come on over, girl. I'm going to give you a lot of love and foot massages." And she became his lover and unofficial wife. They had a lot of kids together. Back then they didn't have birth control, so if they had birth control, they wouldn't have put so many kids into the world. If they had put their minds into existence, we probably wouldn't have bread at all. But at that time, you know, the earth was not overpopulated. There were only sporadic tribes around the globe, and only in a few regions on this planet. A totally different situation. Totally different. They still had forests, they still had healthy, wholesome environments. Jerusalem, as you can see in the depiction by Raphael, the Transfiguration of Christ, which hangs in the Vatican, you can see this amazing, idyllic landscape in there. This is my favorite painting in the world, there's no doubt about it. I'm a fan of modern art, but this has its own character for sure. And Raphael, you know, even though that was long time pre-modernism, long time, you know, things were not even allowed to be depicted in any abstraction at all. That would have been regarded as devil. That's why the Christians today, still the fundamentalists, they don't appreciate modern art, because they think that's wrong, that messes with the actual form, you know. So no, it's all bullshit. Raphael, you know, he brought his own interpretation of form and all of this into the picture, but in a very cautious and in a very incognito way he did. And they did, you know, they did. They made certain body parts different and bigger, and this and this and this. The heads near the horses, the Arab horses, they completely made them, you know, they transformed them into shapes where you cannot say there is an Arab horse that in the world that ever looks like this, not even today. So they did make slight expansions here and there on things, or narrowed things down, and made things supposedly more noble and more chiseled and more this and more that and more ethereal. And so abstractions happened even long time ago, you know, even during the time of Raphael, which was in the very early 1500s, like 1520 or something, when he painted the Transfiguration of Christ.
Are you upstairs?
Yes, I'm upstairs.
Making a video?
Yes. Grandma making video. And where's the papa dog? He left, he went back downstairs. Okay. It's very relaxing. Alien E.T. Very nice. Oh, now it's becoming completely. Oh, I am so excited. It's becoming putty now. This is good. Yeah, because slime. See, the slime is too liquid. It just flows out. You can pick it up again and all of this without making a mess, but it flows too fast. And I've always been a fan of slime, and now so the putty is I like even better. It's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Mwah, I love it. Oh, awesome. The color too that comes out of this is incredible, like my pants, the same color. This is nice. Looks like a guy. This looks like testicular. Hello, hello. Hello. The testiculars of an old dude. I'm not gonna mention any names. That would be way too mean. I'm not gonna. I made a mean comment yesterday. I regretted it later on. I should not have said that. Because then I realized, now I did something bad. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to. I don't want to accuse people of being old, getting old myself. So. I called someone old and cranky, but I can call him cranky, but I shouldn't be attacking something they can't do anything about. So that was wrong. Okay, definitely. I'm not going to do this again. Even if the haters bring in an atmosphere of this non-stop ad hominem attacking, I'm not going to lash it back. I don't want to, and I don't want to be caught doing it, sort of unknowingly. I don't want to let that permeate my own way of writing. So I don't want to do this. No way. Cranky, yeah, he's cranky, that guy that I accused. And he is wrong and unethical. But his age, there's nothing he can do about it. So, and his looks and appearance. So, no. We don't have the right to attack someone's appearance. Even if we're angry, we don't have a right to attack someone's appearance. So we can, and not attack. Okay, let's not attack. If we have something better to offer to the world, then let's do a critique. Let's do a rebuttal. Let's bring in actual, intellectually honest explanations and get into the depths of the subject matter and not do attacks on the person. So, very important. Because if people stay stuck in this ad hominem attacking, ad hominem means against the person. If they stay stuck in that, then we stay stuck in war. So we can't move forward an inch into the future to make things better if we stay stuck in that. So I'm making a promise right now with this video that I will never, ever, ever, ever say something against someone's appearance again. Never. Something that they can't do anything about. And I'm also not going to say something about someone's appearance in terms of how they decorate themselves. That's completely their own business. That's not my business how someone has his hairstyle, and I never said fascist things like this, but I just want to point this out here because I see a lot of people doing it. So if someone has short hair, they want to have short hair, then that's their business. Okay, so this is awesome now. Oh, this is star now. From all the ones that I have, this is the star. Yes, you are star. A star. Fantastic. Oh man, I'm so excited. So they are made out of the same material, actually, the same chemicals, just different colors. We're all made out of the same materials, same amino acid components and stardust, yeah, and minerals, metals. We have heavy metals in us. All of this is important. Okay, we're all made out of the same life matrix. The dogs, the zebras, the hippopotamus, the rhinos that they're protecting, the last two white rhinos in Africa they are guarding right now. If they didn't guard them, they would also be completely wiped out. So I'm glad they are guarding these two and they have very nice bodyguards. Those two white rhinos. They have a very sweet native African. He is very black and tall and has a very warm face, very sweet, very loving, and he loves those rhinos very much, and he pets them. A wonderful soul. I'm glad they have him to protect them. I'm so glad. I'm so grateful for him. Grateful for every gentle soul, for every kind person in the world. It's those people that protect animals, that make the world wonderful, that give us love, that supply us with hearts and love and good feelings. I'm infinitely grateful to everyone. Infinitely grateful to Van Jones, Ingrid Newkirk, Paul Watson, Peter Hammerstead, my friend Sandy, everyone who cares, everyone who is brave, to protect other beings. I'm infinitely grateful to them. We went to the beach yesterday. It was nice. Very windy, but it was wonderful. Papa loves it at the beach. There are some nice people, and it's nice to see nice people. It's nice to see nice people who appreciate the Papa dog. I live for the Papa dog. The Papa dog is the meaning of my life, and he is the reason for me to exist. And I love Paul too very much. I care about him very much, and he cares about me, and we're best friends. And it's wonderful to have someone. Really wonderful. Just gorgeous. Now it's completely mixed. Completely. Ooh. Isn't it awesome? It's a beautiful color. I like it. Very nice. That Zizek, even though he's, he explains things very, very cautiously and generally, and particularly in a way where only a very intellectual scholar will actually follow what he's saying, understand it. He doesn't want to be killed, of course. So if we're more direct, then other people will understand it, and then they will understand it wrong because they see things through the lens that is of their ideology and their own group centrism, and they will hear everything distorted. But I think, and I try to avoid that by being even more direct and being even more clear, and by using examples, that are from our everyday life. So I try to make this understood through very simple everyday life examples, like the encounters that I had on the internet, so, and what I see, how people are thinking and reacting and evaluating things. So I like it that he denounces that slave morality thinking and this, group victimization and this collective whining and entitlement. So that's all slave morality. That's what Friedrich Nietzsche denounced. So a lot of people hate him because they identify themselves with that victimization. Who would they be without that, without being victimized? Then they would lose their identity. Then what? Who are they then? A new person, a better life, But hey, it would mean plunging into the abyss of the unknown, so of the non-identification with things. And for the ego, it's a very mechanistic reaction chain that people are very unconscious about. So who am I without being victimized? An empowered person, yes, yeah, maybe we can empower ourselves. Then we don't have to be bitches and assholes anymore. We are empowered. You don't need the feet. You don't need to have the horrific needs anymore to artificially give yourself a pseudo idea of power, pseudo power. Well, we want real power. Real power is empowerment. Real power is disidentifying yourself with being a victim. That's what real power is. You're not a victim. Nobody is a victim. You have your life is in your own hands. Okay. Make something with it. It wouldn't even matter where you are. Yes, it is. It's more difficult in some places, for sure. But even there, you can make something out of it. Even there. You can rescue animals. There are some brave people in this world that rescue animals in the most adverse places on this planet, where they risk their lives to rescue animals. Those are the real brave souls. Those are the God level souls. But let's learn from them. You know, stop beating these people. Stop hurting those people. Stop hurting the ones that are here to bring us love, to help us make the world better for all of us. Because we're all equally precious. This is a truth, okay? We're all equally precious. We need to love ourselves. I kiss my skin and I say, Nicola, you're precious. And you should do this too, all of us. We all need to do this every day. Very important, okay? You guys take care, bye-bye.